Introducing the HSM250 double pulse MIG welding system from H&S Auto Shot. This welder is capable of MIG, TIG, and stick applications up to 250 amps of output power. This welder features a single phase 230 volt power supply and comes with the following torches and accessories right out of the box. As you can see in the video, this is a 3 MIG torch system for silicone bronze, dedicated for silicone bronze, aluminum, and steel MIG welding applications. This machine also features a DC TIG torch with a thumb wheel to adjust your power settings, and a stick electrode for stick welding applications up to 250 amps as well. Quick note on the TIG welder, we said this was a DC TIG welder. This unit is capable of TIG welding steel and stainless steel, however will not TIG weld aluminum. Also in the box is the ground clamp and an accessory kit with additional V and U-shaped drive rolls, some additional shield cups, some additional contact tips, and accessories for our TIG torch. In addition, this machine is capable of accepting both mixed gas and 100% argon gas, and comes with 2 regulators and hoses. As you can see with this welder, also does come with a cart and some wheels that will need to be assembled out of the box. Looking at the machine, in the back of the machine very quickly, we can notice these 2 gas inputs. We have torch number 3, which is our steel torch, set up with our mixed gas, which is mixed gas, argon and CO2. And our silicon bronze and aluminum torches are set up with 100% argon gas. In addition, this machine features 3 independent wire feed cabinets. We'll open up one of those to show you. Cabinet 1, or the top left cabinet, is dedicated for silicon bronze. Notice the double drive roll system here. This is a design to help straighten and push those really thin metals like silicon bronze or aluminum. Every cabinet features identical double drive roll motors, double drive rolls, and large wire feed motor. Inside of cabinet number 1, we'll also find our display codes and the function that those correspond to, in addition to our Synergic non-pulse program list and Synergic single and double pulse program list. So all in all, this machine has 28 Synergic or smart MIG programs to help the user get dialed in for their weld. You can notice cabinet 2, which is below, is dedicated for aluminum. You can also see these are all independently assigned, meaning that there's no cross-contamination. This cabinet is completely separated from our silicon bronze cabinet here. And then to round everything up, on the right side of the welder is where our steel wire will go. So 3 independent wire feed cabinets and 3 independent MIG torches for those different processes. Now, to kind of give you some orientation of the machine itself, we have the welder turned on. It's a quick on-off switch here. Very easy just to turn the unit on. We have some carry handles. We can move this around the shop. And we also have an output select here. Output select 0 is going to be for TIG or stick applications. Output 1 is for silicon bronze. And you'll pick up the red torch. Output selector 2 is for aluminum. We pick up our blue aluminum dedicated torch. Output selector 3, we pick up our green torch, and we'll be pulling from the steel cabinet. Now, it's also important to note, based on our output selection, as long as our gas is set up correctly in the back, it'll pull, the welder will pull the appropriate gas for the appropriate output selection that we set. So, starting with the most important feature of this welder, looking at the faceplate, are our welding modes. And this, we have 6 welding modes available, and you can see those here. The first mode is single pulse Synergic. If we press the hand button one more time, we have double pulse Synergic modes. If I press that one more time, I get into manual mode. Now I can do whatever I want to. I can set my volts and my wire feed speed on the fly. If I press that again, that toggles down to my Synergic no pulse programs. If I press that again, I'm in stick mode. And one more time to round it out is DC TIG. Again, for steel or stainless steel TIG welding applications. We'll toggle that back to single pulse Synergic. Right below our welding modes is a window with our trigger settings, and we can alter our trigger settings. Right now, this light is showing 2T trigger. If I press this hand, I'm in 4T trigger mode. One more time, I'm in S4T trigger mode, and the last but not least is the spot mode available as well. So I'm going to toggle that back. Every time I press this, I can toggle through, go back to 2T, which is the most common setup for any MIG welding application. 2T meaning pull the trigger on, let the trigger go, the welder stops welding. We also have a function menu here. We'll talk about that in a minute. As we move towards the middle of the welder, this is a manual gas purge. So I can press this. If I need to manually take gas out of my regulator, I can do that and adjust that on the fly. I have a manual wire feed mode. So I can press this or hold this down and actually manually feed the wire rather than pushing the MIG torch to get my wire out of the torch and ready to weld. I also have a job function and a folder. I can save up to 100 jobs. If I find the parameters that I really like for a particular setting, I can press the job button and I can save up to 100 jobs and place them in a folder to recall at a later time. And as we move around the welder back towards the left, we have 2 displays and then 2 knobs beneath those displays, and we'll talk about what each of these icons means as well. So starting on the left right now, V stands for voltage. We have our volts. If I press this left stick down, these are my Synergic pulse, double pulse, or no pulse programs. I also have an arc length indicator, and I have an inductance mode here where I can set the penetration of my weld, back and forth with this. And every time I toggle this, we'll toggle through my 4 modes. Now my right thumb adjustment, right now I'm showing A for amps. If I press this again, I see my wire feed speed. If I press this one more time, this is my material thickness. And I can adjust my material thickness up or down based on what I'm trying to weld to. So now that we have this general orientation of the welder itself, let's go ahead and select a program for single pulse welding aluminum. So right now, you can see that I'm set in single pulse Synergic mode, and Synergic again are my smart settings that are going to get me really close and give me a good starting point for my weld. I know that I want to pull from aluminum, so I want to change my output selection from 1 over to 2. And now I'm going to come over here to my settings chart by opening up the first cabinet, and I'm going to look down at my programs codes. So I know that I have aluminum wire, I have 1.2 millimeter thickness wire. This is what comes with the welder, and I'm running 100% argon gas. So I'm looking for P4 in my Synergic program list. So I'll come back over to the front of the machine, and I'll press this left stick down until I see program. And I'm going to adjust that program down to P4. The next thing that I'm going to need to do is toggle this over to my material thickness. And I'm going to adjust my material thickness positive or negative based on what I'm trying to weld to. Once these things are set, I have my volts and my wire feed speed set for that particular program based on that particular material thickness. In addition, and we didn't cover this earlier, this welder also comes with a starter spool of each type of wire. So you will get out of the box a starter spool of silicone bronze wire, a starter spool of aluminum wire, and a starter spool of steel wire. Now, a little earlier we talked about this function button. I want to quickly kind of go over these functions and displays. So if I press the FX, I'm going to get out of welding mode, and I'm going to see an abbreviation listed here. And on the right, I'm going to see that number displayed. So PRG stands for pre-gas, which means I can adjust my pre-gas, or the amount of time I have gas coming out before my weld will start, from 0 all the way up to 5 seconds. If I press the left stick, I'll set that back where I started. If I press that again, I'm going to see POG. That stands for post-gas. I have the ability to change this from 0 up to 10 seconds. This is the amount of time I have gas coming out after the weld is stopped. If I press this one more time, I have burn back settings that I can adjust from 0 to 10, and then I'm back to pre-gas. So in single pulse Synergic, I have available to me pre-gas, post-gas, burn back, and then I'm back to pre-gas. Now when I'm done making these adjustments, I can press that FX button one more time, and now you can see I'm showing my amps and my volts displayed on the screen. Now, depending on the welding mode that you're in, you will have different functions available to you. So as an example, in double pulse, I have pre-gas, post-gas, burn back, double pulse current. There's a lot of additional customization that I can do to this welder. Please refer to your user manual for further information about these settings. This is a quick review and recap of the HSM250 double pulse MIG welding system from H&S Auto Shop.